Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters. It's also dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. I wouldn't do any of this without you guys, seriously. As long as you like it, I'm gonna keep doing this crazy thing, so thank you again. Today we're diving into a fighting game that isn't Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and we're bringing to life Balrog. Sorry, forgot about the switch. We're bringing to life Vega. By the way, if you notice in the clips, yes, I suck at Street Fighter. There's a reason why I do so many Mortal Kombat builds. Sorry guys, I was on the Mortal Kombat side during the great fighting game wars. Vega is a vain, narcissistic killer and assassin of Shadaloo, the dark organization run by M. Bison seeking world domination. Vega joined Bison on the promise that in his new world, he would be free to do whatever he wished, finally able to relish in his own brand of violence and cruelty. Vega is one of the fastest and most agile characters in the Street Fighter series, blending his martial arts with bullfighting techniques. Vega is pretty hard to pin down, but tends to leave himself defenseless as he tends to also show off. Vega is instantly recognizable with his own armor-protected face while wielding deadly metal claws. I got something to say about the mask. For today's build, we'll be using the player's handbook and Xanathar's Guide to Everything. We'll also be pulling a feat from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. We're using standard point array to make things easy, and we are multi-classing, so keep an eye on those minimums. Thankfully, we only have 2 minimums. We'll start things off with Charisma at 15. For those who don't know your true self, they find you very charming, and then very sick and twisted. Dex will follow with 14. You are fast and agile, and have amazing grace to match. Wisdom comes in at 13. This is a stat minimum, enough said. Con will be a 12. You have to keep yourself in amazing shape and health to look as good as you do. Strength will be rather low with 10, and we're dumping intelligence. Sorry, but wearing armor on your body to keep you alive? Smart. Wearing armor only on your face to protect your good looks? Dumb. Vega is a human, like everyone else in the Street Fighter series. You know, at least Mortal Kombat has other creatures, that's all I'm gonna say. Variant Human grants you a free feat and skill with your stat improvements. Place one into Dex and Charisma. For your feat, Piercer, found in Tasha's, adds +1 to Dex. Once per turn, when you hit with a weapon that deals piercing damage, you can re-roll one of the attack damage dice, using the new roll. When you score a critical hit with a weapon that deals piercing damage, you can roll 1 additional damage dice when determining the extra damage. Now for this build, we'll be using a dagger or short sword for your claws, though myself I'm going to be preferring the short sword. And if you would rather have something that slashes, change this feat for slasher and use scimitars for damage. Regardless, you need a finesse weapon. Think I just telegraphed what we're doing, didn't I? For your free skill, take perception. For background, we're going to need the skills performance and persuasion. Time to make you a killer. Level 1 rogues start off with 4 skills. If multi-classing with rogue, try to start with rogue for all the skills, unless it would be better to go with the other class. Take acrobatics, athletics, deception, and intimidation. Expertise doubles your proficiency bonus to 2 skills you are proficient with. Place this into acrobatics and athletics. Sneak attack adds bonus damage to your attacks made with a finesse or ranged weapon once per turn while you are within 5 feet of an ally, or when you have advantage on the attack. This starts off at 1d6 extra damage but will grow over time. Thieves' Cant is a coded language made up of gestures, symbols, and phrases used to maintain secrecy among those within the underworld. Alright, time for combat. Level 1 monks begin with unarmored defense. Now when not wearing armor, your AC is 10 plus dex plus wisdom. Martial arts improves your combat skills. Now when not wearing armor, your unarmed strikes and simple melee weapons can be dex based. You can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action after taking the attack action, and your unarmed strikes and simple melee weapons now use martial arts dice for damage, which starts at a d4. Please remember that using your dex for attack and damage is not finesse. Sneak attack only works with weapons that are ranged or have the finesse property. Even though your unarmed strikes are now dex based, they are not finesse. Level 1 fighters start off with a fighting style. We're multi-classing a lot in this, don't worry, we're almost done with it. Dueling adds +2 to your weapon attacks when holding a weapon in one hand and holding no other weapon. I would think your clawed hand can't hold anything while you use it, so I say it counts. Second wind lets you heal yourself with a bonus action by 1d10 plus your fighter level once per short or long rest. Sadly, that's all we're taking with fighter, so healing won't be that good with this class. Okay, we're done adding classes, we're just going to be sticking to Rogue and Monk at this point. Level 2 monks gain unarmored movement. Now, when not wearing armor, your speed increases. For now, your speed is increased to 40 feet. Ki grants you ki points equal to your monk level per short or long rest. With these ki points, you can now perform special moves. For those moves, Flurry of Blows lets you combo hit by spending 1 ki point, and now you can make 2 unarmed strikes with a single bonus action after taking the attack action. Patient Defense costs 1 ki point and turns dodge into a bonus action. Step of the Wind costs 1 ki point and turns dash or disengage into a bonus action and doubles your jump distance. Level 3 monks receive their subclass, and we're going to be focusing on your weapon to benefit better from sneak attacks. Kensai Monk found in Xanathars will grant you Kensai weapons. You can now choose 2 weapons, 1 melee and 1 ranged, and make them monk weapons. But these weapons must lack the heavy or special properties, though longbow still counts, though you don't use ranged weapons anyway. As I've already said, I'm going to go with short sword for your claws because of their length. Agile Parry turns your Kensai weapon into a defensive weapon. Now when you attack with an unarmed strike while holding your Kensai weapon, you can add +2 to your AC until the start of your next turn as long as you are holding the Kensai weapon and not attacking with it. Kensai Shot lets you use a bonus action to add damage to your ranged Kensai weapon, but as I said, you don't use ranged Kensai weapons. Deflect Missile lets you reduce damage you take from ranged melee attacks as a reaction by 1d10 plus dex plus monk level. If you reduce the damage to 0 and have an open hand, you can catch the projectile and throw it back. Level 4 monks earn our first ability score improvement. Bump up dex for better attacks, damage, and AC. Slow Fall lets you reduce falling damage as a reaction by 5 times your monk level. Quickened Healing lets you heal yourself by spending 2 ki points and rolling a martial arts dice and adding your proficiency bonus. Level 5 monks gain extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. Stunning Strike lets you stun enemies you hit with an attack. When you hit with a melee attack, you can spend 1 ki point to force a con save on the creature you hit. They are stunned until the end of your next turn should they fail. Focused Aim lets you spend up to 3 ki points when you miss with an attack, adding +2 per point spent. Your martial arts dice are now upgraded to a D6. Level 6 monks now have ki-empowered strikes and magical Kensai weapons. Your unarmed strikes and Kensai weapons are now magical, beating out resistances and immunities. Death Strike lets you add more damage to your Kensai weapon by spending 1 ki point and adding another martial arts dice per turn. Your unarmored movement is now 45 feet. You also gain a 3rd Kensai weapon of your choice, and this will be your final chance to take any other Kensai weapon, as we're done with Monk. Level 2 rogues receive Cunning Action. Dash, Disengage, and Hide are now bonus actions to you, meaning you can save your ki points for other things like more attacks and damage. Level 3 monks gain their subclass, and there's only one subclass that I feel fits with you. Swashbuckler, found in Xanathars, grants you fancy footwork. Now when you hit a creature with an attack, that creature cannot make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of your turn. Rankish Audacity lets you add your charisma modifier to your initiative rolls. You also gain a new way to perform a sneak attack. Now, when you are within 5 feet of a creature you are attacking, no other creature is within 5 feet of you, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack, you can use your sneak attack. Speaking of sneak attack, yours is now 2d6 extra damage. Steady Aim lets you use a bonus action to give yourself advantage on an attack. Now on a turn you haven't moved, you can use your bonus action to grant advantage, but your speed is reduced to 0 until the end of your turn. Level 4 rogues earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Dex. Level 5 rogues now have Uncanny Dodge. You can now reduce damage done to you with your reaction by half when you can see what is causing you damage. Your sneak attack is now 3d6 extra damage. Level 6 rogues gain 2 more expertise. Let's place this into deception and persuasion. Level 7 rogues receive evasion. This improves your dex saves. Now when you pass a dex save, you receive no damage and half on a failure. Your sneak attack is now 4d6 extra damage. Level 8 rogues earn another ability score improvement. Bump up charisma for better initiative. Level 9 rogues now have panache. As an action, you can make a persuasion check against a creature's insight. This creature must be able to hear you and you must share a language with it. If you pass the check and the creature is hostile to you, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you and can't make opportunity attacks against anyone but you for 1 minute. This ends if one of your companions attacks the target or affects it with a spell, or you and the target move more than 60 feet away from each other. If the creature is not hostile to you when you make this check, they are charmed by you for 1 minute. This effect ends immediately if you or your companions harm the target. Your sneak attack is now 5d6 extra damage. Level 10 rogues earn another ability score improvement. Let's cap off charisma for a +10 to initiative. Level 11 rogues gain reliable talent. Now when you make a skill check with a skill you're proficient with, you can never roll lower than 10. This means your acrobatics and your persuasion will always be at least 27. Your sneak attack is now 6d6 extra damage. Level 12 rogues earn our final ability score improvement. Let's place this into con for better health because you're not adding a lot. Our final level is level 13 rogue, and swashbucklers receive elegant maneuver. You can now use a bonus action on your turn to gain advantage on your next acrobatics or athletics check you make that same turn. Your sneak attack is now 7d6. Not really a best way of ending this build, but hey, 7d6 sneak attack damage is worth it. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 10, Dex 20, Con 14, Intelligence 18, Wisdom 13, Charisma 20. Your total levels are Rogue 13, Monk 6, Fighter 1. Let's dive in. So let's take a look at your claw attacks. Using a short sword, you're dealing 1d6 plus 7. You can give yourself advantage, can add 7d6 extra damage once per turn, can cut them so bad you stun them. You can add more damage dice, and it's all magical. Even without your claws, your unarmed strikes are dealing 1d6 plus 5 magical damage. Can it get any better? Oh yeah, it does. You can attack a total of 4 times. Your initiative is plus 10, all your skills can never be lower than 10 on the roll, with 4 of those adding plus 12 before modifiers. You can disengage from fights easily, you can reduce damage from attacks, falling, and ranged attacks, and finally you can heal yourself pretty decently. Downside. Well, you're only bringing monk and rogue hit dice, which brings you to just over 140 HP, and your AC is only 16. Not bad, but other fighters are bringing much higher of both. You also have a terrible intelligence score. It's just bad. Strike fast and move. Avoid staying in a prolonged fight, or that pretty face of yours won't be pretty no more. Thank you for joining me today. I release a new build each week on YouTube and Spotify, so don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss a single one. Over on Patreon now, you can help decide the next character. Who will it be? Ron Stoppable, Jake Long, Kim Possible, or Mewtwo?